Do you believe in the power of Jesus' words spoken over your life? Hello, I'm Eddie Lawrence, and I hope you're having a good day. Here's today's devotional thought. Mark chapter 11. Jesus curses a fig tree because it was unfruitful. He then goes to the temple, cleanses the temple. The following day, he and his disciples are walking back past that fig tree. Peter notices it and says, "Look, Lord, the fig tree which you cursed is withered up from the roots." And Jesus says, "Have faith in God, for assuredly I say to you, whoever speaks to this mountain, be cast and be removed and be cast into the sea, and doubts not in his heart, will have whatever he says." Then in verse 24 he says, "For I say to you, whatsoever things that you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you will have them." He turned this into a moment of teaching them how to do what he had done. And he begins by saying, you got to have faith in God, guys. In other words, he got this from the Father, and he spoke it out his mouth. That's where it starts. Are you getting what you're about to say from the Father? Then he says, "For assuredly I say to you, if you speak to this mountain, be removed and cast in the sea, and doubt not in your heart, you'll have whatever you say." So you receive it from the Father, then you speak it out your mouth in faith. A mountain, that's something huge, right? It seems impossible, but remember, with God all things are possible. And so we begin to realize in this Spirit-filled life, there are times when God begins to move upon our heart to boldly declare, decree, to speak to speak to situations, to speak to mountains. For Jesus, it was a tree. It was a prophetic lesson for those disciples about barrenness and unfruitfulness and hypocrisy. But there are times in our life when the Spirit of God will move upon you, and you need to hear what the Lord is saying. Get that in your heart and believe it and declare it out your mouth. Now, notice this. I kind of jumped over this at times in the past, but it's really important. When we get to that verse 24, Jesus says, "For I say to you, whatsoever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them." Notice how that begins. Jesus says, "But I say to you." Can you realize what these disciples were seeing? They'd seen Jesus speak to the tree and it withered. And now he's looking directly at them, speaking to them, just like he has spoken to that tree, except he's giving them revelatory information about how they can operate in the spirit realm by speaking the words that God gives out their mouths in faith and overcoming doubt and just stepping into it and saying it and believing it. And notice it's part of our prayer life, whatsoever things you ask when you pray. So we come before the Lord and we're praying, and it's important that we get in alignment with God's will and God's heart concerning what he wants to do, and then believe that boldly and declare it boldly. Jesus said, "I say to you, whatsoever things you pray, when you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, you shall have them." Can you receive that? That Jesus is saying that to you through this scripture? To me, that's so powerful, because when I think about the Lord standing in front of me and saying, "Eddie, this is what the Father's doing. Now, you need to say this and believe it in your heart. And when you do, you'll have it." This is the faith life. Now, think on these things. There's so much here. Just wanted to drop by and share that with you today. Pray it blesses you. Thanks for sharing this with other folks.